Okay, this is a pre-trip on 873. We're going to start by lifting up that hood and checking all our fluids. You'll find these straps right here on their fenders. All you gotta do is lift them up and make sure they don't get caught. I already did the other side. Then you're going to come up here to the hood. You have a handle right here. Just lift up on it and she'll pop right open. On this side you're going to find most of the things you're going to check. Here's your coolant. Make sure that's in between max and min. Same thing for the brake fluid. Make sure that's in the middle of max and min. And once again, your power steering fluid. Make sure it's in between max and min. You'll also find your suspension components. There's your shock. Make sure that's good. You'll see oil coming down off of it if it's not. Your axle seals. You'll see oil dripping down the inside of your tire if those are bad. And make sure all your steering components are nice and tight. They're not wiggling around. Make sure your tires have air. Make sure your lug nuts are tight. And then check your tread. If you can stick your fingertip in there and it comes halfway up, then you're good. Check out your front leaf springs. Make sure those are intact and not cracked and damaged. Inside here, you'll see a little bit of your serpentine belt. Make sure that's not worn out or hanging off the pulleys. That cap right there is how you fill your oil if you need to top it off. And then just below it is your oil dipstick. And then right back here, that's your transmission. This you're going to check when the vehicle is on and running and has been for a little bit. But I'm going to check this right now, like while it's cold, because you won't be able to hear me otherwise because that fan is super loud. So once again, make sure you're checking your transmission fluid when the vehicle is on and running so it's warm enough and you'll get a better reading that way. And okay, I'm just going to hold it. So yeah, you just twist it open like that, pull out. Stand it right there. Make sure you have a towel handy. Pull it all the way out. I'm trying to wipe it as I go. Then you're going to stick it back in until it's flush. You don't gotta lock it back into place, it just has to be flush. And when you pull it out this time, that'll be your accurate transmission reading. So right now it's in the hot range. That's good because I just had this running and that's where you want it to be while the vehicle is warm and on and, you know, all the fluid's going where it needs to go. So right there is where you want your fluid to be, in that hot range. Make sure you wipe it off before you stick it back in there. You don't want any debris in there. And then just kind of turn it a little bit and that'll lock it into place. Same thing for your oil. Your oil you can check when the vehicle is off and cold. So check your oil, then check your transmission. So pull it out, wipe it off, stick it back in. Once again, you don't gotta lock it into place. You just gotta make it flush. Pull it back out. And then there's my oil level. You want it to be in that little hash mark that's right there. That's the sweet spot. Okay? Make sure you wipe it off before you stick it back in. And that's how you check your fluids. On the other side is your washer fluid. And you'll be able to see the other side of your serpentine belt. So right here's your washer fluid. Make sure that's topped off so you don't get a ticket. And then there's the other side of your serpentine belt. You can kind of see it from like multiple angles, but make sure that's not worn and damaged. All right, so we'll close the hood so we can check lights a little easier. But we'll do the in-cab stuff first. Before we get in the truck, right behind your driver's side seat on the outside is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that yellow needle is in the green. That's how you know your fire extinguisher is ready and operational. And make sure that pin is in there so it doesn't discharge. Right here's your fuel tank on the driver's side, right under your seat. Make sure you only put diesel fuel in here. Make sure this is on and tight and tethered, like so. You don't want any debris in your fuel tank. Located right behind your seat is your triangles. That's what that red box is. And if you look in the door jamb, you're gonna find your weight. This thing weighs 26,000 pounds. And this line right here is where you put that 26,000 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating. Your keys should never be locked or left inside the vehicle during or whenever you're not in here, because we like to lock keys in the trucks. So these things need to be locked up in your job box at the end of the day. So while we're in here, I'm not going to turn around, I'm just going to turn the battery on. And then these are your parking lights and then your headlights. And here's the in-cab dimmer. This joystick is how you control your wipers. Spinning it controls the speed. Pushing it forward turns your high beams on. And then pulling it towards you turns them off. And pushing this in is what controls your washer fluid. That should be spraying, but that reservoir is probably empty. So we'll leave our low beams on for now. We'll stick our 4-ways on. Just push this button out, like so. And then on your console, you're gonna find a beacon switch. You gotta flip those on too so you can check your beacon lights. While we're in here, we'll check our horn. These are your defrost settings. Make sure those work. Check your windshield while you're in here. Make sure you don't see any cracks or damage. Same thing for your mirrors. Make sure those are on there. Now you're gonna check your seatbelt. Make sure that clicks. Oh, this one's shoved down in there. There we go. So, put your seatbelt in, give it a little tug, make sure it doesn't come out. So we'll walk around, check all our lights. Brake and reverse is easier to do with another person. So if you have another person on you, have them stand behind the truck and let you know if your brake and reverse lights come on. But there's our low beams and our marker lights. Low beams, marker lights, our 4-ways are working. Up there you're going to find some headlamps on top of the roof and your beacon. Make sure those blink. There's a marker light on the passenger corner of the bed. And a marker light right there on the back side. Our 4-ways there. More marker lights, more 4-ways. Here's your license plate lights. Make sure those work. And you got some more beacons staring right at you. And then the same thing going down the other side of the bed. Since we're passing a dual, and I haven't done that yet, I'll do one side of the duals. You'll have to do both, but I'm just going to show you. Kind of the same concept as the front. Make sure you have enough tread. Stick your finger in there. Check your lug nuts, make sure those are tight. Check both of your duals, make sure they both have air. Look in between your duals, make sure you don't see any rocks. And you're also looking for axle seal leaks. You'll see oil dripping down there. Check out your leaf springs, make sure those aren't cracked and damaged. Make sure there's nothing in the way of the tire as it's spinning. Check out your mud flaps, make sure they're not too low to the ground or too high up to the bed. Those prevent, rocks flying at cars. That's basically all. But you'll do that for your turn signals, your brake, reverse lights, your high beams. Check all of your lights. So we'll come back in, check our list. So we checked all of our lights, windshield, mirrors, wipers, horn, gauges. Make sure all your gauges are working correctly. I think I said that. Fire extinguisher triangles. We checked all of our fluids, our coolant, steering linkages, front suspension, exhaust system. That you'll be able to check while your vehicle is running to make sure you don't have any exhaust leaks. You'll hear it. It'll be obnoxiously loud. Fuel tank, door secure. Open and close your doors. Make sure that they secure properly. All of that is good. Make sure you have your proper driver's license. In this case, it'll be a normal driver's license. You don't need a CDL. Your med card, your proper PPE. This is a spray truck. You'll need hard hat, safety glasses, gloves, boots, pants, socks, long sleeves, all that fun stuff. Your toolbox isn't required for DOT, but we like to stick it in there in case you break down. That'll be in your job box. Make sure you get a decent night's sleep. And that brake's self-adjusting. You don't got to worry about that. This is too new for that. But yeah, that's where you put your weight. I know I already said that, but your vehicle height is located right in front of you, right on the dash. It's 11 foot, and that's where you stick that. Anything you find wrong with your truck, feel free to stick in here, and you should be good. Thank you.